What up, though? It's your boy Cash. You rocking with CMK TV, Crown Me King TV. And man, oh man, here we go again. The YouTubers is almost looking bad as the rappers, man. Shit crazy. And I ain't saying this man did nothing, but we gonna talk about Fall of Ssg, popular YouTuber. Boy being accused of kidnapping two women. And I heard, I watched a couple of videos about him talking about it and what happened and how he feel and it being lies and he being accused of shit. We definitely got to talk about it. Because I got a certain perspective on this shit too. And we gonna pause right through, we gonna pause and chop it up and talk about this shit, man. This shit crazy.
Was now accused of kidnapping two women. But the story doesn't end there. Authorities say the Texas-based content creator fled the United States by booking a one-way ticket and hopping on a nearly 20-hour flight all the way to the Middle East. So how did a man with millions of social media followers end up charged with aggravated kidnapping? Well, it all began on November 22nd. That's when a woman exchanged numbers with 26-year-old Corey Pritchett Jr. The woman told authorities the following day she and another woman met up with Pritchett. They did some pretty harmless activities like working out, ATV riding, then bowling. But it was at the bowling alley where things took an intense turn. While there, the two women felt like something was off when Pritchett and his two friends started acting strange. The women told police they were repeatedly looking around, seemed on edge, and were acting suspicious. The unnamed women told police they learned Pritchett and his friends were having...
Now, it's easy to act strange and you see a group of dudes, and I heard this story. It's easy to act strange when you in situations where the chick knows some people that you know and you got beef with these people and we all in the same bowling alley that y'all persistently push to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit is alleged, but from his side of the story, I would love to hear them talk though, the chicks. But from his side of the story, they persisted on going to that bowling alley. He say that's not the bowling alley he goes to originally. And they persisted to do that. So he went, and then, I ain't gonna say the group name that was there, but everybody know at this point, you know what I'm saying? And he got a problem with this certain group, but he was cool with one of the motherfuckers in the group. And they was there, and, tension's weird. Let's get back into it.
Issues with another group that was there at the bowling alley. So they reportedly told Pritchett if he continued acting that way, he should just leave with his friends. Pritchett in turn stepped out with his friends, but never returned, leaving the women behind. After some time, the women texted.
Smart, and word to the wise, man. This for anybody, bro. Male, female, don't matter. When something is pulling at you, meaning like telling you to leave a situation, you don't feel right, shit feels sketchy, don't look at it, and this is mostly for men, don't look at it like you soft. Leave, bro. That's your spirit pulling you away from certain things, bro. Your spirit got a damn good way of telling you when to get the fuck away from a situation. You know how many situations I've been in, and the shit probably looks soft to motherfuckers, but dear situations got, you know what I'm saying, popped up, a whole lot of unalivings, a bunch of situations I've been in, but I left because my spirit told me it wasn't right, bro. And people might think that's like a joke or something, bro. That's the most serious shit I could ever say on this platform ever, bro. Listen to your inner shit, bro. Listen to your spirit telling you. It'll say you out some shit. Or you be on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just take that shit serious, man.
At him because they left their stuff in his car. So he asked them to meet at the H-E-B grocery store parking lot to get their stuff back. When the two women showed up, he switched gears and offered to drive them home.
See, and right there, he had the right idea of leaving the bowling alley. Damn good idea. It don't matter if you look soft or not, like I said, but to let them call you because they needed their stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, if you gonna have them meet somewhere, I would have set that bitch behind the grocery store and told them to go get their shit is behind the grocery store. And if somebody happened to steal it before they get there, I'd rather take a stolen something charges than kidnapping charges. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he knew he was gonna be on some kidnapping shit, or maybe he did. Who knows? I don't know that. but I would have never let them get in my car. If I feel like something was odd, because in his videos when he talked about, he felt like something was up with them and they was being weird, just like they saying about him. So if that's the case, I would have never let nobody get back in my car. Boom, I would have shot you a text message first off. Fuck the phone calls, because you can't hear shit on no phone. You know what I'm saying? Like if they go back, you can't hear nothing on phone call. That happened already. Just send a text message. That's your proof. Hey, look, I set your shit behind the GHB gas station, whatever it's called, the grocery store. You gotta think outside of the box, bro. You do. You gotta think outside the box.
And they said yes. But according to the women, Pritchett flipped the script once again. During that drive, he reportedly began acting erratically and skipped what was supposed to be the route to drop them off. The women say Pritchett claimed someone was after him and started making phone calls. Then Pritchett began driving at high speeds, going past 100 miles per hour. The women claim he pulled out a gold-colored handgun and started waving it around the sunroof while still driving erratically fast, then began firing off rounds out of the car window. One of the women reportedly told Pritchett to take her back to her apartment and try to calm him down by asking him to pray with them. But he still continued driving crazy fast down the I-10 highway. Pritchett then made a video call to a woman reportedly saved in his phone under future wife. He asked the woman on the call, if I had the perfect opportunity and was in the middle of nowhere where no one could hear them scream, should I just go ahead and do it? And the woman on the line reportedly responded, yes.
First off, if I called my future wife and I told her a situation like that and you told me, yeah, you just willing to throw my life away too, you ain't a future to mine, the fuck? Motherfuckers is crazy, gang. Like, what? And granted, I don't know if this man did it. All this shit is alleged, but at the same time, why do people like fucking their life up once you touch this crazy bag? You want to just fuck your life up. That shit is supposed to make you in a better situation. Like I said before, if you know you got problems with a motherfucker, you don't go back and meet up with these chicks because you don't know who waiting for you or who they coming with. So that's why the story kind of seemed red flagged on his end. I don't give a fuck if I got no guns or not. The guns is to protect myself, but they definitely not to make a problem worse, like to create the problem. Like, bro, you could have avoided it all. They wouldn't even have been talking about you in no jail right now. You wouldn't be in no orange jumpsuits. Your bond wouldn't be 200,000. You feel me? Like, motherfuckers gotta start thinking, gang. Period, bro. It's you either thinking or you not, man. Motherfuckers be wanting to be talking they from the streets, bro. It's more to just being from the streets. It's a lot that go into that. You can't be no dumb nigga in the street. Period. It don't work that way, bro. You gotta have some type of smarts wits to you. And I just don't think bro was thinking. And if he was on hots because he felt like somebody was on him, you shouldn't have never went back, bro.
For the women in Pritchett's car, though, they were seemingly in fear of their lives. The women told police that Pritchett told them, I'm gonna F y'all and then kill y'all. By this...
That's beyond wild. Yo. That's wild, gang. Like what? Because if like that shouldn't even have been a thing that was brought up. Like effing them, as the lady just said. That shouldn't even be a thing that's brought up. If you felt like they was really setting you up or on that type of time, then you should have been on something totally different. That shouldn't have been the first thing out your mouth, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't have been the first thing out your mouth. We don't know that. But if you was on that type of time, that shouldn't have been nothing out your mouth.
At this point, the women said they were texting one another during all of this, but authorities say Pritchett then started pointing the gun at them and took their phones away so they couldn't communicate with each other. According to police...
Now, if y'all go back and look at his videos, my bad for pausing, I told y'all this was going to happen, but you know, we going to talk about it, man. But if y'all go back and look in one of his videos, he was saying that he took the phones because they was texting each other back and forth, and he felt like the motherfucker that was already on him and he had a problem with, they was texting them, dropping lows, and he said he passed her his phone because she wanted to do the music, and because it's his car, and he says I guess she turned something on his phone, and he took the phone back and turned that shit off, like it was sharing location type shit. And if all that is true, that is really crazy on her behalf. You know what I'm saying? This shit is wild, bro. Like, and honestly, you don't know who you meeting out in the world, bro. Chicks be big setup artists. Either sometimes they'll set you up for a dude, sometimes they'll set you up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really setup chicks out here, so you do gotta watch yourself. But Corey, I feel like in some situations, bro, he was just moving stupid as shit.
Pritchett then pulled off the highway onto the shoulder of I-10 near Sealy, Texas. Seemingly with a change of heart, he told the women to get out of his car, telling them this is your only opportunity.
Now, to me, this is not kidnapping. This is my personal. You can't get in a car willingly and call it kidnap. Because I never heard at any point where he was like, oh, yeah. I don't know. To me, it just don't sound like kidnap, but, you know, let's move on.
One of the women said she tried to get her phone back, but wasn't able to. Then Pritchett drove off, leaving them stranded on the side of the road at night. The women told police they spent more than an hour along the side of the highway before they were able to flag down a driver who called 911. But clues pieced together by investigators would help corroborate their story. One of the women had the Life 360 app on her phone, and screenshots, which included timestamps and the route they took, supported the victim's story of what happened. Pritchett was ID'd through his driver's license and social media pages. But when investigators reached out to him, his phone was no longer in service. Instead, they found out through TikTok that he was planning to move to Dubai.
I moved to Dubai. And people just want to feel so good out here. My kids, listen. So I'm having more kids, right? With my future wife, for sure. And Aiden, my kids are gonna be homeschooled, bro. It's getting real wicked in the United States. A lot of y'all not paying attention because a lot of y'all sleep, and the news outlets are not speaking on a lot of that's going on there. It's gonna get real over there. Y'all might think I'm lying. Y'all might think I'm just talking. Y'all see other people probably saying it, but you know people don't believe until the shit hit the fan. That's one thing I noticed about most people in the United States. They want to party, live life, until it hit the fan.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today.
The fan and everybody, they want to scatter it. No.
But according to...
he made the Dubai shit look bad. That shit looked bad. It looked like he was running, gang. You feel like... It looked like you was running. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers gotta start using their fucking head. If you feel like you ain't do that and it wasn't... Granted, you might not have known about it, but you know they called the police on you, bro. If you was in there doing what you said you was doing, you know they was calling the police. So that... I'm moving to Dubai shit? Looks crazy.
To the FBI, they confirmed Pritchett bought a one-way ticket to Qatar on December 9th. A little more than 2 weeks later after buying that one-way plane ticket, Pritchett was officially charged on December 26th with 1 count of aggravated kidnapping.
I want to give a huge thanks to you, our viewers, and our amazing sponsors like Upside. Upside is a super cool and free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas. Use Upside for money that if I don't in the description.
Letter to the internet and on kidnapping.
Back on your
Bill continues to post on social media. On January 4th, he posted an article from Houston news station KPRC, along with the caption, "Letter to the internet, it's finna be a ball. Let the show begin, hashtag Houston, Texas. Let me show you how to take monsters down the hashtag smooth way. You see it says accused, right? Don't worry, LOL. I'm finna give you the details on here and in the court of law. They gonna regret effing with me like I'm just some goofy or some. Oh, and..."
Man, look, I understand you trying to like, I get it, bro. I do. But sometimes the best formula is to shut the fuck up and figure that shit out behind the door. Don't go into the internet with that shit. And this type of goofy shit right there makes you look like a goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain shit belong to be behind the closed door, bro. You ain't gotta talk about shit all the time. I understand you a influencer on, you know what I'm saying, on platforms, but sometimes you still gotta know when to chill. Like you gotta know when to not be talking about everything. You can't give a motherfucker nothing to have something out of, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody could take anything out of that right there and try to pin you on some shit. Shh. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker just gotta learn to shut the fuck up.
And I got the best lawyer in Houston. A day later, he posted a video with the victims as they were ATV riding. That video was captioned tagging Houston PD as he wrote in part, "We have a case here of popular YouTuber Fall of Ssg kidnapping 2 white girls, and he's currently on the run in Dubai, I think. IDK, but yeah, the FBI should be after him." A pretty wild case that is now ranging across 2 completely different countries that are thousands of miles away from one another. So let's bring on retired FBI agent Colin Schmidt to get his thoughts on this. Colin, thank you so much for joining me today. What is your reaction?
I'm not even gonna lie, they treated this shit like murder. The way they showed him in the pool with his kids and all that shit in the beginning, this shit looked like he was on an Alive trial. Like, shit was a little crazy.
To this case, from Pritchett's alleged erratic behavior to trapping these 2 women allegedly in his car and leaving them stranded on the side of the road, then later fleeing off to Qatar.
Well, I think the first thing for investigators is kind of look at the totality of the circumstances and look at the big picture, as well as look at credibility of who the complainants are, as well as what's really going on here between these 2 people. And that's based upon the recent instances of YouTubers or bloggers or social media influencers faking in their own kidnappings. So to prevent a waste of resources, they have to just take a step back and kind of look at the big picture. And then, of course, if there is some merit to this, then they're going to have to kind of dig in and find out exactly what really went on between these 2.
And investigators also say that, GPS data from Life 360, which was an app that was on one of the women's phones, that helped corroborate their story. Talk to me about how investigators use that type of data to kind of piece together, or at least verify these types of allegations.
Well, in this case, the victim made it easy for law enforcement to track her because they did have the Life 360 app on there. I'm familiar with the app. It's fantastic. And I have used it with my kids as well. So if that wasn't on there, the first step with all these cases, and even if it's a bank robbery or a fraud case, is going to be the phones, and to look in to see if there's any GPS data, tracking data in that phone to find out and to corroborate what the victim is saying that the assailant did.
Yeah, and it's also, unclear right now, but from what we do know now, do you think the erratic behavior on Pritchett's behalf might have been someone actually after him, as he had told these women allegedly? Or do you think there's another reason, possibly like drugs, that kind of made him act erratically during this whole incident?
Well, with the limited information, available, you'd be speculating on why he was acting so erratic. So when somebody's acting erratic, there's a catalyst or some sort of antecedent that make them do that. So either it's something internal or external, and that's one thing that's going to come out, so to speak, in the wash as the investigators do their investigation and start talking to people and find out why he was behaving in such an odd manner. And then the fact that he fled to Qatar, which is kind of an unusual country to go to because of it. I doubt he speaks Arabic. Does he have some sort of connection to that country?
Yeah, and I was also, going to ask you what your thoughts are on him fleeing to Qatar. What all goes into extraditing a kidnapping suspect? And in your opinion, how long do you think it'll take before he's actually back in the United States?
Well, the first thing is if we have extradition with...
For those who don't know, he already back and he already arrested. You feel me? So I'm just giving y'all the rundown of the beginning shit, because to me this shit is crazy. And she brings up drugs, which is really crazy. Like, everybody don't got to be on drugs to act erratic. It could be some real life shit going on, like somebody trying to unalive you, that'll make you unerratic, especially if you got beef with somebody that's well known in Houston, by the way. Well known for those type of problems. You know what I'm saying? And you just happen to randomly stumble and meet these 2 girls. Yeah.
Qatar, I'm not aware whether we do or don't for that particular crime, because extradition is crime specific. Some crimes are extraditable, some aren't. And then the extradition process is generally very long, and it takes at least a year to 2 years. Generally, what the authorities do is they just have the country.
See, damn, when you listen, you don't know. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that it'd take that long. Holy shit. He should have stayed away, my nigga.
Expel or deport the person that's there. It's a much faster process. Unless the person has some sort of citizenship with that country. And I doubt this gentleman has any citizenship with Qatar.
And do you think that trip was planned?
Duh, he don't. He was out there really visiting for real. He was just on some vacation type shit. Or he was planning on it, you know what I'm saying? All that TikTok shit he's saying he moving to Dubai, he was full of shit. You could see it in his face. And he was down in America and, oh, what's going on? And blah, blah. He was full of shit, man. That he was just getting away from the situation at the moment.
Whole time, or do you think he kind of did it as an escape to escape those now criminal charges that he's facing? Because I can't imagine, leaving your children behind to go start a new life in a completely different country and just, leave them behind in Texas.
Well, if he was going to Mexico, I would say there wasn't a lot of thought put into it because obviously it's just right over the border. But to take an international flight, I mean, you have to fly through an international hub, whether it be Houston or Los Angeles or New York, and then make a couple of connections to get to Qatar. So, and then, of course, the flight itself is pretty expensive. And then there is going to be some scrutiny on him on when he lands through the authorities there in Qatar. So there had to be some sort of.
In other news, Michigan drivers will now be getting a big break on their auto insurance. This new website has gone viral for holding auto insurance companies accountable.
Planning to go into it because, like I said, he's just not driving his car over the border, going down to Mexicali. He's going to a foreign country, and it's approximately an 18-hour flight.
Yeah, and booking that one-way ticket as well, too. I can't even imagine kind of going back to this alleged crime as well. Can't imagine what it was like for these two women who were stranded on that highway until they were able to flag down a driver who eventually called 911, and then authorities arrived as well, too. But, kind of going back to the overall alleged offense in this case, what do you kind of make of just...
I mean, his best bet was to drop them off on the side of the road. Because if he just called somebody and said, I could take them here, nobody would scream them, should I do it? They should, if that was the case, they should be thanking they lucky stars that he dropped them off on the side of the road. I don't care how far I gotta walk. You just really threatened my life. You was pointing ping pals at me and shit like that. Yeah, thank you for dropping me off. Don't even worry about my phone. My people's got their phone. We good. We don't even worry about it. Thank you for dropping me off on the side of the road. I'll walk an hour. What the fuck?
Leaving two women stranded on a highway, and then just again fleeing off to a completely
way better than being unalive. All I'm saying.
Different country.
Well, that tells me that there wasn't much thought put into this. It sounds more like this was an impulse crime. He was reacting to some sort of something maybe the women had done to him. Or
exactly my point. It was something done. Because every action got a reaction, and he reacted off something that he felt like. It could have been just feeling the intuition of his, though. But like I said, if you got problems with somebody that that they known for doing shit, and these chicks know them, and they kept being persistent of inviting you to this bowling alley. Not the one you wanted to originally go to, but the one they want to go to. What are we talking about, bro?
Or vice versa, and this was reaction, and he didn't think it through. And then I think finally it kind of dawned on him that what he had done is basically going to land him in jail.
And unfortunately, that might be the case, because he probably but I don't feel like it's kidnapped. It might have been just a bunch of threatening. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they got in the car, so I still don't see how that's kidnapping to me. That's just me. But he definitely thought about it and was like, "Hey, y'all get the fuck out!" Like, fully understand. I get it. And
he essentially panicked, kicked him out or put him on the side of the road, and then obviously left the country. So he definitely has a lot going on inside his head, and this case is only going to probably get stranger as the investigators dig in.
That's facts.
Yeah, and you mentioned something earlier in our discussion, just about his whole social media persona, which is kind of another added layer to this whole entire story. Pritchett has millions of followers across different social media platforms, but then you tack on this alleged behavior and this alleged or this crime as well too. What do you make of all of that, given that he was this kind of apparent rise on social media, and then he got kind of famous as well too, doing family content, and then for this to kind of come out? What do you make of just kind of that Jekyll and Hyde situation that we're kind of seeing all unfold?
Oh wow, it's just You know what's crazy, man? She just called it Jekyll and Hyde. People act like you can't be in situations that's gonna change you at that moment. What is he supposed to be? Family content, Corey SSG, when he feel like he possibly could be set up to be robbed or unalived, like he's supposed to just be like, oh yeah, I'm the same person on YouTube. What are we talking about? What is she saying? He just Jekyll and Hyde though, because he flipped at that moment. People have weak moments, and that was a situation where he was, to me, it just sounded like he was being on P. Well, because people out here doing people wrong, bro. So you can't trust everybody you run across. Don't mean he just turned to this crazy maniac. Like, oh yeah, he did this. He was this on YouTube, but then he's this. Like, what are we talking? Lady, shut up.
Well, that's really from where I started with this, that because of his social media presence, law enforcement was going to have to kind of dig in and kind of determine what the motive behind this was. Maybe he had no intent of harming these women. He was just doing.
So honestly, when he put that post out and said what he said, they look thinking I'm goofy. That's smart, because they definitely about to be all in your shit. Hey,
this for the classic clicks, or like I said, he had something going on in his life that made him panic. But it seems like there's such in society now, there's such a intense pressure to get quote unquote clicks, that we see these social media people doing some amazingly stupid and abhorrent things. And frankly, I think law enforcement and the society as a whole is really kind of getting tired of it. And the hammer is starting to fall on these people for their behaviors.
It's not even the same thing. The shit you just talking about, you talking about the goofy pranks that people be doing on motherfuckers outside that could get them unalive. Which to me, that shit is the dumbest shit in history. Stop. Motherfuckers be going to hoods and doing that dumb shit. Something happened bad to you, then you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but this was not that. This was something totally different. Mr. FBI agent, it's something totally different. It's not the same thing. We know law enforcement's getting pissed about that shit. It's them pranks and weird shit motherfuckers be doing in public, bro. And then the police got to pull up too because somebody did some dumb shit, or you know what I'm saying. It's a couple YouTubers probably did get dropped for doing some dumb shit outside the people, but this ain't that.
Now, say Pritchett makes it back to the United States, he's facing this kidnapping charge. How long of a potential sentence or punishment do you think that he could be facing now?
Well, if the federal authorities get involved, I believe you could get up to life in prison for kidnapping. So,
oh my God. Yeah, see? Now this is where that's what I'm saying. Like, you really gotta be on P, bro, because that shit, they putting the alphabet in front of your Tom. You're done. That boy said life. Like, boy, nobody ain't trying to hear that shit for kidnapping two white motherfuckers. Excuse my bro. Let alone it could be two black people. I don't give a shit. Kidnapping two people, or accused of kidnapping. Say he didn't do this shit and that shit go wrong, and they just be like, oh yeah, not even life, but like, hey, we gonna give him 10 years though, bro. Motherfuckers gotta value their freedom, and I just feel like people just really don't value their freedom, bro. Everybody want to be this for the internet and all that goofy. That's some goofy shit. Like, boy, you gotta value freedom. Like I said before in the video before, I've been there, done that. I don't want to go back and be sitting in a prison with a bunch of niggas. Boy, the fuck? What we gonna talk about today? The same bullshit. Yeah, I'm straight, bro. You gotta think about your freedom. Like I said, if it land me there again, knock on wood, it gotta make sense. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be playing with my family for me to make it there. But I'm not doing. You gotta start thinking, man.
So, depending on the circumstances and if it's provable, in this case, he didn't take the victims over state lines. So there's an argument that it's not a federal crime. However, there is a kidnapping statute in Texas. So, and Texas has a pretty aggressive law enforcement culture there. So
So that just sound like to me they got an aggressive culture there. They gonna roll his ass. That's what they gonna do. Or Corey better start talking about some money. Try to get your way out of that on that end.
He's going to be facing some jail time if it turns out that this was legitimate kidnapping and these women are willing to testify.
Now, if it wasn't legitimate kidnapping, do they get to go to jail too for lying? We'd love to know that.
All right. Well, Colin, I want to thank you so much for joining me and giving me insight into this case. Before we sign you off, though, anything else you'd like to add?
I think it just comes, like I said, full circle about all this social media clicking nonsense, and it's really gotten out of hand. And I think it's long past time for authorities to start cracking down because people are getting harmed.
How does he say that though? This has nothing to do with the clicking, whatever you call it. That has nothing to do with that to me. It's a totally different situation because the internet in that situation at that time was not even a factor, sir. He wasn't thinking about no fucking internet. He was thinking about his life, if that was the case. He was thinking about his life, about him making it. Is they setting me up? That's what he was thinking. He wasn't thinking about no clicks. Like, you on some other shit. Like, what? Bro. All right.
All right, Colin, again, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, man, that's the end of that video. This is crazy, man. Drop in the comments, man. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think Buddy kidnapped? If y'all know the story more than me, because, I'm pretty sure it's some shit that I missed. But if y'all know the story more than me, let me know, man. Do y'all think he did it? Do y'all think he didn't do it? Y'all think they lying on him? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all also think that the news and shit, like this lady right here, do y'all think they try to make Buddy look like a monster? And to take an L for kidnapping, possibly that you didn't do, is really crazy work. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I will never. Like, you got to put yourself in real situations. You got to put yourself in situations, bro, where this wouldn't even be a happening thing. Like I said, he fucked up by telling them they could come get their shit and meet him, and then he really fucked up even more by letting them back in the car. You took them there, and you let them back in your car. You should have dropped their shit off. You should have paid the clerk at the grocery store, gas station, wherever the fuck it was. Can you hold this for them? Bro, here, take a couple $100. You got it to give. Hey, let them come pick up their stuff. Just so nobody steal it. Like, you gotta think, bro. Like, I don't know. I move different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't move like that, but I move different. There's no way they would have got back in my car. Because I'm already on high alert with you. From what he said in his last video when he was talking about the whole situation. He was already on high alert with them because of that bowling incident. So why would you let them back in your car, bro? That was dumb on your half. Like I said, man, that's the end of this video, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Do all that good shit. Hit that notification bell to get every notification that drop on the next vids, man. Appreciate y'all. Let's get it, man.